All right, what's up, everybody? So, in the continuing series of 8 variables of intensity, today we're going over weight. So, we have covered exercise order, reps, rest, aka recovery, sets, exercise selection, and today we have weight. Okay, we have 2 more. I believe my math is correct. All right, so we have weight. Now, here's the thing. Most people, when we're training or teaching people how to lift and become more fit, they always are concerned with what the weight is. How much weight should I use? And if you read the title, it says weight, the dependent variable, because your weight selection is dependent on almost all the other variables. I debated on doing this one last. However, it's in this order today because of I want to make sure that you understand when you're learning about all the different variables, weight is very important, but it is dependent on the other ones. So the next 2 coming up will make sense in the order in which they're presented. However, we are talking about weight today and why it is dependent on everything else. When you choose your amount of reps, the weight will be dependent on how many reps. For example, if I choose 100 pounds, I can't do 100 pounds 5 times and struggle to get to 5 and then expect myself to do 100 pounds 20 times. So my weight would be dependent on the rep choice. Sets. The more sets you get in, you tend to fatigue a little bit. Hopefully you're getting enough rest and recovery, but sometimes we rush our recovery, our rest periods, and we don't get fresh before the next set. Our weight selection can also be dependent on the rest and recovery period, meaning if I'm not fully recovered, I should not expect to get as many reps as when I'm rested. So therefore the weight needs to be adjusted if I expect to get that amount of reps. So if I'm fatigued and I say, hey, I did this 8 times before when I was fresh, I either need to drop the weight or expect to drop the reps. The weight is dependent variable based on whether I'm doing the same amount of reps, whether I'm rested, or whether it is a deep into the amount of sets that I'm doing, because I should potentially be a little bit fatigued based on how deep into the workout I am. All right. So no one can truly answer, you have to do this amount of weight. So a lot of people program a percentage based number of what you're going for. For example, if your 1 rep max is 100 pounds, you can say, I want you to work at 50% of your 1 rep max. Therefore, the weight would be 50 pounds. 50% of 100 is 50, okay? If I say I want you to work at 65% of your 1 rep max, you would choose 65 pounds. The weight becomes a programmable usage in that term, all right? So weight is very important. Reps are very important, and we tend to choose the 2 together, meaning I will choose the weight that I can handle for 10 reps. All right. However, the reps are what determine that weight. Okay, making sense? So, although weight is important and we do want to work to fatigue, we want to work hard. Although not every day is a max intensity workout, the science base is out that whether you're doing a light load, a heavier load, or a heaviest load, as long as your body is having ample time of recovery and rest, and the also substrates of nutrition, full recovery, rest days, and such, you will therefore be able to handle good amount of weight. And good meaning in quotations, what's good for you is not necessarily hard or good for someone else, but for you it could be good. All right, so your weight will become dependent on the other variables. That doesn't mean that it's not important to understand what weight makes sense, okay, and how much weight to do. For example, what do I mean by what makes sense? Generally, anecdotally speaking, this is completely anecdotal over 25 plus years training. When you're doing a lower body exercise group, such as squats or lunges, you can generally jump about 20 pounds for 2 reps, 10 pounds for 2 reps of upper body. So if I'm doing bench press, I could probably get up about 2 more reps. If I could do 100 pounds, I could probably get 110 pounds for 2 less reps. Meaning if I did 100 pounds for 10, I'm going to do 110 for 8. All right, 20 pounds for lower body. So if I did 100 pounds for 10, I can then do 120 pounds for 8. That tends to be approximately about where you are, and that can help you with your weight selection as you're progressing your sets and your workouts. However, that is anecdotally speaking. There might be some research study that says this is where you will be. And if you know all your 1 rep maxes, your 5 rep maxes, your 10 rep maxes, you could probably figure out and be pretty close because those do bear out. However, for the average everyday lifter, most people, okay, general population and or more specifically the students in your classes, they don't necessarily know all their 1 rep maxes, especially as they're learning the skill, acquiring the movement capabilities, and then still developing as athletes and adults or into adults. All right, so it's an easier way to figure out what weight is appropriate as you bump up your reps, bump down your reps, and get further along into your sets. All right, so weight, the dependent variable. It helps to know what the other things are, but you still want to account for the weight that you're choosing in your workout, and then track the weight and the reps that you're doing so that you know last time we did this time we're doing this, and everything is basically SMART, specific, measurable, as the SMART principle says. So you can see where you are, and then you can program accordingly down the road. All right, that's all we have for today. Okay, be sure to check us out next Monday at 5:15, where we're going into further explanation of the next variable of the 8 variables of intensity, which will be velocity, aka speed of movement, and how that plays a role in how much weight you can handle and how much fatigue you'll have, and then how much rest and recovery is needed. For example, going for a sprint and you're fine during the sprint, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you're done, you really need to catch your breath, and why you're winded because of that. All right, so we're going into the speed of movement, aka velocity, next week here on our live programming. Hopefully you guys tune it in then. Other than that, you guys go out, be awesome, be amazing. If you have any questions, please drop us a comment. We'll be sure to answer. And if you really like what we're doing, please share this with your friends and or join our newsletter so you don't miss anything that we put out. And you can get to our newsletter at StrongerTogetherEducation.com. All right, thank you very much. You guys go out, be awesome, be amazing.